Good morning. This is Siku the Scuffed coming to you live with Near Automata. The last time we played this, we finished Route A and we did the tutorial for Route B because it really wasn't that important. And today, I want to start the route proper. But that does not mean actually playing through the route and doing all the quests. No. We're not going to be doing that. Not today, at least. Today, we are going to be reading a whole lot of stuff. Because we have a lot of weapons, and a lot of weapons we can buy, and they all have lore attached to them. Additionally, there's a lot of side content from this game, and while a lot of it did get nuked a while ago in a cease and desist, quite a lot of it still remains, and I have some additional content that I'd like to share. In a timely manner, of course. I'm not going to spoil anything before we get to it. The game does a good job telling its own story. But when we get to these parts, we'll be stopping to read, and I have a little thing on screen I'll put whenever it's time for that. But for now, let's hop into the game, and at the very least, make it to the resistance camp. That way, we can choose our music while we're reading, shall we? That sounds like a great idea to me. Now, that being said, I'm actually in a very talkative mood today. I almost didn't make this a near stream. I was half tempted to just make it a work-along stream, where I had my camera on my hands while I worked away on something, and just talked. But I decided against it, because I wanted to do this instead. No particular reason, really. But here we are. Last time we left off in the bunker, about to go down to Earth. Which, of course, means we have to go do our... Oh, no, we had to talk to the commander first, actually. And then we get to do our shooting section for probably 5 minutes. Then we can start going towards the resistance camp. I expect it'll be great fun. Also... Oh, wow, she's a lot louder now. Yeah, I haven't played this game since I changed the audio settings. Hold on, I need to see. She's almost talking over me, actually. That's fine, though.
Understood. I know you're fresh out of maintenance, but I have another mission for you.
Let's just let her talk for a second.
I need you to head to the surface, rendezvous with the Resistance, and do some recon.
Doesn't Yorha have a dedicated Resistance contact already?
We haven't been able to get in touch with them, so we'll need you to look into that as well. Understood.
Okay, good. Like I said, they're a lot louder now. Last time I was playing this, the game was very, very quiet. Actually, let's look at those audio settings really quickly to make sure I'm not blasting my ears too much. Also, that being said, I am actually getting a new set of headphones so that I won't have such intense audio issues on my end. So that's good news. Oh, and there's something else I was going to say before I started talking to the commander.
The surface?
I don't remember, actually.
Flight units, huh? Better head for the hangar. Usually we can't get near flight units. They're way too expensive for us grunts. Too bad they can't mass produce these things yet. The hangar's up ahead. Let's go.
Now I remember. I was going to talk about how the beginning here is almost exactly the same as 9S. And I don't just mean this section. The whole first half is about the same. You're lucky to never be blasted by audio. You have sensory issues. I see. Yeah, for me, it's a bit weird, because I've been, not this set of headphones, but the set of headphones I had before this one, I'd been using for a long time, since back in the Xbox 360 days, and started disintegrating. Oh, wow, that's loud. Oh, it's loud.
Hey, 2B.
Hold on.
Why do you think they sent a combat model like you to a recon job? If all they want is intel, we scanner models are built for that kind of thing.
Okay, this should be better. You know what, actually, let's turn down a little bit more, actually. Because audio is not too important today, because we just need, really, the resistance base so we can choose music while we read, mostly. And of course, I'm not just going to be reading it. I'll actually chime in with my own thoughts on them. Most of them should be short stories, because that's the weapon stories we're doing. But we're also going to be doing, like I said, some short stories, and those will be a bit longer. Oh, Alright, I forgot how to do the flight combat. It's been a while, obviously. But at least now we have 3 days of near. You always mute your computer before you open a game. Oh, on my side, I just keep my audio constantly super low. And then I turn it up afterwards if need be. I don't think I ever have it set higher than 20, unless I'm doing streams. Because if it's on 20, then it's not going to come through on the stream at all. Because my desktop volume will be reflected, not my headphone volume. My headphones are quite a bit louder than the desktop volume. I don't recall this section being too terribly long though, so we should get through it pretty quick. And then we can get to the interesting things, including showing off some of Ninus's new mechanics on the ground, because we saw them last time in the air.
Bunker to 2B, come in. I've set a landing point for your
Oh, yep, landing unit. Not landing unit, landing spot. Okay, we're going down.
Sorry for the trouble, but we can't risk the
Oh, and you know, I wonder if this time around I can actually get to that secret area beforehand. Not risking a mini panic attack? Oh yeah, I certainly get that. Though, admittedly, I don't think that it's been a long time since I've had like a game actually blast my ears out. These days, things being too quiet is the main issue. And that's definitely not on my end. That's like the dev's end. Oh, right, new mechanic. And here, right? No, not in there. Hold on, where is it? Ah, here it is. These locked chests have been everywhere. In fact, these locks have appeared on doors and chests all over the world. We've not been able to do anything with them so far. Now, we can open them. And we get all sorts of goodies. Also, some new side quests that open up because you need to do this stuff specifically. Now, we have the Phoenix Sword. And we're not going to bother checking this secret area because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be open yet. Hasn't even shown up in a cutscene. Ah, and here we are. Back in the glorious city ruins, before it's been blown up. I really do love this place. Fantastic post-apocalyptic environment. Cars are strangely old.
According to
I will say that.
none of the machines in this area are hostile.
Especially considering we know the year
They just stand
that
there and stare
everything
into space.
started falling apart.
It's pretty weird.
But it's not especially important, I suppose. Ah, and here's our camp. Wonderful. And that is where we are going to be... actually, I don't know if I have enough money to upgrade everything. I don't think I hacked in money. I think I just got the resources so we can read stuff. That's fine, we can sell stuff, worst case scenario.
So this is the
Oh,
resistance
wait,
unit.
no, I have to do all the...
Probably go talk
I had to do the side quests first, to unlock the shops first. Okay. We're going to be here for a bit longer, it looks like.
Number 2.
In fact, we can actually speed through this dialogue because it's the exact same as last time.
Leader of the you must be the new well, please feel
What do we have to do? I think we just had to run around and grab scrap from the world, which I probably already have. Because my inventory is absolutely packed. Even before I did the whole inventory edit thing. Because I may not have been farming, but this game just gives you a ton of stuff.
Should be enough. Let's get these back to the trader.
Yes, yes. Please, take my stuff. I want to read. That's what I'm here for today. There we go. And are you a shop now? Or do I have to do the other guy as well? Yeah, thank you for the materials. Okay, finally, we can actually buy our stuff. First of all, let's buy his other 2 weapons, because we did not buy a lot of weapons in the first playthrough. Since we simply did not need them. And now... Oh, I don't have enough money. Do I have, perhaps, any machine cores? Did I give myself those? I have 7 of them. Well, I can sell those. That'll get me enough money to read some stuff. I might actually close the game and just give myself more money so I can read all this stuff. Because this is not going to be nearly enough. Oh, and I can't even... Oh, I'm such a fool. I had to go all the way to the forest to upgrade these. Oh, we're not doing that today. It's going to take way too long. Okay, well, we'll upgrade what we can. We won't be able to read it yet, because it won't be fully unlocked. But we do have the short stories still, and I kept those. We can upgrade Ninus's sword. I'm not going to be using it much. It doesn't feel like cheating to me. I certainly wouldn't call it cheating. His main attack is cheating in and of itself, pretty much. But now I'm going to become broke. Oh, wrong button. Luckily, I don't actually have that many weapons, so I might not actually go completely broke. Which is nice. But I can at least show you guys what the short stories are about. Like how they're formatted. Okay, look at that. All weapons upgraded, and I don't have enough... I can't upgrade them anymore because I'm not in the forest. Dang. Okay, that's fine. Yep, he's just telling me that he can't take it past level 3. Anyway, I guess we can talk to this guy and finish his quest up while we're here before we start doing stuff. Might as well. I have the items for it. Oh. Oh, his shop's already open. Oh, right, that's how it worked. Right. Is this just a kill quest? Or is it also... It was just also just a grab stuff quest. Good.
That's everything the supply trader asked for.
Hello, supply trader. I need you.
Chores are a real pain in the
Oh, I can't.
The
Ninus, stop complaining, please.
By helping them,
Please,
we also help
Ninus.
ourselves. So no, I don't think they're a pain.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Materials finished. He's giving us the whole Ship of Theseus speech about his leg. Get a couple more items. Now, we just need to talk to this lady, who is for tutorials. And that's all. Okay, good. And now, we're going to go sit over here and choose some nice music. Let's see what we have in the jukebox. Stage music, please. City Ruins. Medium? That vocals, please. Oh, I don't have the music box anymore, do I? Is that the one I want, though? Let's see, what other ones do we have? No, not that one. Not that one. I don't actually have a lot of music right now because it's the beginning of the game. That's a shame. Which one's this? That's just the regular Resistance Camp music. Okay, we'll put on City Ruins. We'll put it on quiet. There we go. Now we're going to sit down. I'm going to show off some things in my inventory. That's the wrong button. Also wrong button. What's the inventory button? Can I not use my inventory while I'm sitting down? That's exactly it. Okay. Well, if we look in our weapons, and we go into here, whenever you go into its settings, you can see there's a story option, and you can see there's 4 levels of the story. 1 you start with, and the other 3 you unlock by upgrading the weapon. And they all are very interesting, and I'd love to share them with you. In fact, that's what I plan to do today, but alas, it does not seem possible. So instead, we're going to read one short story, and then we're going to do the actual lore, which was not something I had on my, on my plans today. So Ninus, go ahead, sit down. Let's pull out the story time picture. I didn't actually do it as detailed as I wanted, because it turns out my hand still hurts from getting injured. So we're just going to use this for today. And we might improve it sometimes in the future, we might not. But as you know, there's nothing more permanent than a temporary solution. Before this though, we're actually going to turn the music up, because it looks like you guys can't hear it on your end very well. At least according to OBS, and I trust OBS. And that should be at a audible level now. So let's pull up our first short story, shall we? I'm choosing this one, not because it's especially interesting, but because when I checked out the anime, the first episode, turns out they adapted this one really early, just in the background. This one is called Small Flowers. Those small specks looked very much like black sand. They were discovered in one of many mankind's ruins. We found some androids hiding out in the building, so we spent 5 days and 20 hours exterminating those androids. Our enemies were thrown against walls like pieces of trash, and it was during cleanup that I made the new discovery in one of the small rooms. Multiple glass bottles were lined up on shabby shelves. Most of them were either empty or broken. However, one glass bottle remained in good condition. Taking the bottle carefully into my hands, I confirmed the existence of multiple small specks within the bottle. A lookup in the database revealed that they are seeds of plants. However, that's all I could find. After observing the glass bottle for some time, I decided to take it back as research material. We machine life forms have been fighting with the androids for thousands of years. Androids are highly skilled at combat, and we were unable to defeat a single android, even with 100 machines. However, we end up winning regardless. By repeatedly repairing ourselves and multiplying, we were able to crush them with sheer numbers. If we can't take them down with 100 of us, then we will do it with 1,000. If that doesn't work, then we will do it with 10,000. We repeat this over and over again, and increase our numbers. Winning a war all boils down to time. We simply fight until we win. That is the most important battle requirement we, machine life forms, learnt from our creators. On the other hand, we were completely clueless about issues outside of battle. Because of how our creators programmed us, we were forbidden from using gigantic weapons that would cause undue destruction to the environment. As a result, this planet is filled with plants and animals. However, we did not do much research into these life forms. We collected information about geography and weather because they could be utilized to our strategic advantage. However, information about animals and plants were deemed unrelated to combat. Is that true? The chances may be low, but isn't there a possibility that these seeds could contain hints on how to destroy androids? It's worth a shot. After all, we have infinite time. More than enough time. After some discussion in the network, it was decided that the discoverer of the seeds should be tasked to investigate them. In other words, me. I have gone through some past records, but all I could find was that seeds were a younger form of plants. But I did not know how they would transform into plants. To that end, I needed to start by hacking into the Android servers. There wasn't much recorded in the Android servers either, but after days of searching, I managed to locate a file that stated, "Sow your seeds when the climate becomes warm." It appeared to be a guideline for nurturing plants. I didn't understand what precise conditions can be considered warm, and since they used the word sow, surely there must be some surface to sow onto. But that wasn't specified either. Why are our enemies so careless? There's no way they can win against us like this. For now, I will start by aggregating weather information and calculating an appropriate time frame for my data. I have also decided to experiment with various surfaces to sow on. Though I wanted to try out all kinds of possibilities at once, the numbers of seeds are limited. Therefore, I have limited my selections to sand, concrete, and soil. I have observed plants growing from all three of them, and if my predictions were correct, then soil would be the most promising candidate. 7 days later, I confirmed that the seeds sprouted from my soil. My predictions were correct, and I shared that fact among us. 24 days after sowing the seeds, the first signs of problem appeared. The plant increased in height along with the increase in temperature, which was a positive sign. However, multiple small insects were found on the insides of the leaves. After some observation, I can see that they are depriving the plant of its nutrients. The insects were too small to pick out. Furthermore, they did not attempt to escape even when water was splashed on them. I tried to fire a low-powered laser, but that ended up blowing off a few leaves from the sample plant. They sure are troublesome for their size. No, it's precisely due to their size that I am having such a hard time. This is a new strategic viewpoint that's been overlooked by us machine life forms, as we do everything we can to become bigger and sturdier. Perhaps this is something we could learn from. I will share this with the server soon, as I have all the data in place. 85 days after sowing the seeds. Rain. In the end, the plant suffered serious damage from the insects. However, it continued to grow. It also had sufficient water, which is necessary for growth. According to documents that were previously recovered, plants do well in neutral or slightly alkaline water, so I have been adding minute amounts of neutralizer to maintain that condition. However, I do not know if this is truly the right way to go about nurturing plants. I only have to look outside to see gigantic plants wrapping themselves tightly around buildings. Why did those plants grow so large in size? Perhaps as a result of environmental changes, they have adapted to be resistant to acidic rain. I looked down at the growing plant. I saw something white and bright growing between its leaves. Carefully, slowly, I took a closer look at the object in question. It was a small bud. I searched through all my available data. According to the android's data, the object called a bud will eventually transform into a flower. The data contained multiple different pictures of flowers. Red ones, pink ones, blue ones, white ones. My search came up with multiple flowers, but it was insufficient to determine what kind this particular plant was. Oh well. Eventually, I will be able to tell. I put in more neutralizer, but only a little bit this time. 102 days later. Clear skies. After days upon days of rain, the plant's flowers blossomed. Though the pictures I took as reference featured big flowers, this particular plant grew in large numbers of small flowers that were only 5 millimeters in diameter. This could potentially be due to a difference in the type of plants, but it could also be that I nurtured them in a wrong way. By the way, recently, whenever I look at this plant, I experience an indescribable feeling surging up from within. I have a theory that it's because of how similar the flowering plant is to a scene from a video about explosions. Looking back, I realize I haven't used my weapons in a long time. This is an abnormal situation for us machine life forms, who were made to wage war. However, nurturing this plant is my important mission. No matter how much I truly seek to battle, I cannot abandon this plant and run off. It was then that I received an incoming transmission. It was a short transmission, but it was hidden behind over 200 layers of encryption, and it took me 4 days to decrypt it on my own. I didn't even need to open up the data to guess at its contents. There are only a few situations in the past that required such heavily guarded transmissions. The data contained within was a battle plan for an upcoming large-scale conflict with the androids. 124 days later. Rain. After the 24th reboot, I finally regained a portion of my visual sensors. A brief checkup of my body revealed that I lost functionality in 1/3 of my joints, with half my sensors being rendered completely useless. I was lying prone on the ground. 18 days ago, during the small-scale conflict, I was not allowed to abandon my position. Or more precisely, we didn't have the luxury of issuing change of orders to an experimental entity like me. According to the remaining video footage, I was shot by the androids and ceased functioning. I tried to move my body, but all that came out were unpleasant creaking noises, and I was unable to stand. It looked like I was damaged pretty thoroughly. I predicted that it would take half a month of self-repair with what's available at hand, and experienced a tinge of irritation. I turned my head as much as possible, and a white, blurry object appeared in front of me. After adjusting the focus, I saw that it was a small flower. More than half of the plant was destroyed from the blasts, but a small portion of it remained untouched. Seeing as how its surroundings were burnt to a crisp, this flower was extremely fortunate. A motionless plant, a powerless me. After observing the plant for some time with the camera, I resumed the self-repair process. My job isn't over yet. It's my mission to record what becomes of this plant. After that, the plant continued to bloom with small flowers. I continued to record the growth of the plant. 22 days after my last reboot, my body was completely repaired and back to its original state. Though I have become disconnected to the rest of the machine network during the combat and cannot seem to reconnect, it was not a hindrance to my mission of nurturing this plant. From what I have learned so far, I was able to determine the conditions that improve plant growth: appropriate amounts of water, warm temperatures, soil. On days of storms and strong winds, I did everything I could to secure an appropriate environment for the plant growth. The plant, once weakened from battle, recovered and grew even more flowers. Looking at those flowers, I no longer felt any unease. 280 days have passed since sowing the seeds. I discovered that a portion of the plant became brown in color. Initially, I remained optimistic, as this was an occurrence I have seen multiple times in the past. However, the brown parts expanded as days passed by until it covered the entire planet. My sensors were reacting to something. Looking up, I saw that snow was falling. Understanding that the temperature is dropping, I put a low-level heater next to the plant and tried hard to maintain its temperature. I continued to observe it for a few more days, but the plant remained brown. No, to be more precise, it was crumbling away, bit by bit. I retrieved the reference materials for the first time in a while, and tried to search for methods to repair the plant. However, I found no instructions in the data. No matter which plant I looked at, the records only pertained to when it blooms and bears fruit, and did not say a word of what happens next. A few more days passed. The temperature continued to drop, and snowfall became more frequent. I decided to cover the plant with my hands. I continued to protect the brown plant. My mission is not over yet. I have to repair this plant. I will understand and learn. I will repair this plant, because I have infinite time. And that is the end of our first story. So we'll get back to playing now, and I can talk about that story. So, that was a story, of course, of a machine who became disconnected from the network and obsessed with something here on Earth. Oh, I should not have got up. The music's not started playing. That's fine. So, like I said, I really enjoyed that story because I saw it get adapted in the anime. That was actually where I first discovered it. Because I had not seen this one before because it's not really lore relevant. And it's really sweet because you have this robot who goes through everything it can to stop its little plant from getting damaged. Even though it doesn't understand life or death, it doesn't even understand much about warm and cold because it can't feel. And it gives everything it can for it, not knowing why. And until eventually, it splits off from the network. Even before it splits off from the network, it's referring to itself as I, instead of we. Oh, you missed the story? Is that what happened? Oh, we just finished our first story. Well, I was talking about it. Yeah, we have this little robot, or big robot, I suppose, who slowly begins to view itself as that. Now I'm stuttering now I finished reading. And I'm hiccuping. Oh, this is terrible. But... Oh, you missed everything since the last message? Oh, that's terrible. We just spent like the last 10 minutes reading a short story about a robot disconnecting from the network. Well, that's a shame. Here, hold on. Let me see if I can do something about that. Obviously, I know I can't like actually do something, but if I do this... I, being the streamer, am allowed to put things in chat. So, if you wanted to read on your own, that's what we just read. And I was giving my thoughts on it. And it's not especially, like, I'm going to reiterate, it's not especially lore relevant, which is why even I did not know about it until recently. But it really well illustrates how machines are so ignorant, yet how easily they become curious. Your power killed itself after an extension cord popped? Oh, okay. Well, don't worry, because now we're going to get back into the actual game. Because, oh, hold on, I need to turn the audio back down. Because we need to progress a little bit, so we can finish upgrading our weapons, and also so we can collect more of them. But also, because now that we're in Route B, as we progress through the main story, new cutscenes are going to appear. I believe the first of the bunch appears either as we enter the desert, or after we exit it.
Operator to 9S.
Oh, and here's our new operator.
Coordinate data for the location specified by
Oh,
the
she's wonderful.
leader.
Nice, operator. You work fast.
Mindless chatter drains energy, 9S. Please keep your comments reserved for mission-related topics.
Yeah.
Oh, I love her. So, immediately, the contrast between the new operator and the old operator is quite big. You're doing floor crafts until your dad gets home to fix things? Oh, okay. But, yeah, so our new operator is much more cold and to the point, kind of like how 2B is, and in a stark contrast to our previous operator, who was very bright, bubbly, and wanted to make conversation. But, as we will soon learn, she is not really all she's like presenting herself to be. She's trying to be professional, but she can't always be, or rather, she doesn't always want to be. In fact, she probably doesn't ever... Oh, wait, she probably never wants to be.
Before?
But look at this, hold on. Oh, you're making a new bag, nice. It looks like we're already finding distractions. So these are the golden machines. These are going to start spawning from now on. They spawn in a specific order in specific locations. And they have a lot of HP. But if you kill them, you get... First of all, the next one's a spawn, but also you get upgrade materials that you can only get from them. Which is also why I didn't bother hacking those ones in. So we're going to sit here and kill these first. Oh, wait, hold on. What am I doing? I'm trying to smack them. I'm 9S. Don't smack people. Do this. So, as we can see, 9S is very, very strong. His sword attacks are complete garbage, but also he turns every fight into a bullet hell if he so chooses, and when he does, it takes out about a fifth of the enemy's HP every time. Like a fifth is like the minimum, though. It can do their entire health bar in one go if it's weak enough. So instead of chipping away at this guy with probably 10,000 HP, we're just going to do this a couple times because despite his golden form, he is a small stubby, and he will only have the most basic hacking minigames, which means I'm not going to lose. Oh, apparently I was attacking the big ones on accident. Bag doesn't have a clip to hang things on, it's not a good bag. Oh, certainly, certainly. No, personally, I made just regular straps work, depending on what I'm trying to decorate it with. Oh, there we go. Our first golden bot is dead. I've got a whole level off of it, look at that. And a machine core. Oh, wonderful. We're getting money. Now then, let's stop getting distracted by enemies that don't matter too much. I mean, it does matter. It's a really cool part of the world to make it feel fresh now that you're in the new playthrough. In fact, there's a lot of things like that. But today's purpose is for lore. Oh wait, hold on. I forgot to take story time off. Oh my god, I've been running around with that on this whole time. No, take that off. It's not time for the next story yet. We'll get to that later. Okay. What next story did I have lined up? I can't check while I'm running because I have it in a different tab. I suppose once I hit this, I'm going to touch the save point and then I can check. I don't think it's going to come up for a while, because I was planning to do a lot of weapon stories today, but evidently that's not possible. Let's see, let's see. The next one was... Oh, this one. Actually, I can do this one whenever I feel like it. I know, it's quite nice. But like I said, it's not quite up to my standards. I drew it while my hand was still injured. So I'll probably tweak it a little bit. But I am very happy with the concept and the just the basic setup. Oh, Council of Humanity. We haven't heard from them in a long time. They really only talk in the beginning of the game, and then they shut up for the rest of it. Or at least until the Route C and D. They talk a lot during that. Or at least a lot more.
But now is not the time to give up. Now, more than ever, we must forge on.
Oh, and wait, hold on. I can grab the weapon while I'm here. We need to make sure to do that. Where was the path, though, to the weapon? I don't quite recall.
Those council broadcasts are always so stiff.
I believe the entrance... I mean, I can go in this entrance if I want to. It's just that I don't know how to navigate from this entrance is all. We might as well, right? We have plenty of time today. I mean, I know I said... I don't actually... Oh, I didn't say it. Actually, I was just... Oh, my hand was injured. No, I'm good now, but it was injured last week after the art stream. So I didn't actually get to draw, like finish drawing most of the things there. So they're just still sitting on my computer as drafts. I actually did the what's it called? The storytime screen just earlier today because I'm only feeling better these past few days. This is not the correct area. I mean, there is a chest here though. Not that I need it. Oh, this underground section is so hard to navigate. I suppose it makes sense. It is a completely optional area that's supposed to be hiding a weapon that I think is a good one, if I recall. Yeah, but as far as the hand injury goes, I was just shoveling snow for a really long time. So that's where how that happened. Nothing too serious, though. Let's see, I think if I go this way... Is this an exit to the tunnel? This is an exit to the tunnel. This is not an exit that I've been to, though. Okay, well, once again, we found ourselves in the wrong path. Oh, wait, I can see it from here. There it is. Okay. Oh, I wish you could actually look in, not necessarily first-person mode, but closer to the ground, instead of being top-down. There we go. Open that door, please. Can't wait till we get to the harder bullet hells, though. Because these ones at the beginning are all pretty simple, to say the least. Oh, right, there's guards. Oh, these guys actually have... Oh, these guys actually do have big ones, okay. Not difficult ones, but big ones. Oh, I say not difficult, but I immediately died. That's fine. You don't take much damage from it. And you can always just try again. As long as you're not dead, of course. Okay. There we go. I almost died again. But it's fine. Come on, give me that weapon. I want to do weapon stories. Okay. And we only have one more left. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh, hello, Senron. I'm doing wonderful. And the game is going good too. We just started the Route B today. And I was going to spend the first part of stream reading all the weapon stories, but I forgot that you need to go to the forest to upgrade your weapons all the way, so we can't do that quite yet. So now we're just going through the main story like normal, and I'm dying in the hacking minigames repeatedly. But it's fine. We should be able to get back to the lore right after the Adam and Eve fight, I think. 'Cause I want to do another short story then, because I've been reading those as well. So far we've only done the one with the machine and the flower. But I'm planning on doing at least one more today. And there we go, we got a good sword. Not the one that we'll ever use, though. Because its stats are good, but the ability is quite terrible. At least compared to 2B's sword. I think that's an interesting weapon story, though, from what I recall. I think both of 9S's weapons have good stories, because 9S himself is just a really interesting guy. Where's the exit to the tunnel, though? That's what I need to find right now. Here we are, wonderful. Oh, and you know, this desert section is going to take a while, isn't it? I think it is, because... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, okay, wait. Hold on. Did I... Hold on. Okay, no, we're good. I thought I did something wrong. Oh, wow, that's not loaded in at all, is it? There it goes. But yeah, this desert section is going to take a while. And I don't think there's additional cutscenes during this part, so we will just have to just run through it without doing much.
Our name's Jackass. I hear
Like, not doing, as in, like, not paying attention much.
Like it.
We're just going to match the dialogue as we go through. But then none of that's new.
Don't go trying to be a hero, all right?
2B is a very cool character. I really do love her. And 9S. Honestly, a lot of people really like 2B, and I get it. But 9S and A2 are way more interesting characters. Also, I like A2's character design more than 2B's, actually. Though, admittedly, they are technically the same.
There's gotta be
It's just they have different outfits, that's all. Or at least they're mostly the same, from what I recall. But how long... Yeah, so I have to go through the big open field. And then I have to go through the apartment complex. Oh man, we have a whole... probably hour of gameplay ahead of us with no new content. So I suppose we should pick a new thing to talk about, shouldn't I?
This sand sure is slippery.
Yeah, probably. In that case, this is by Square, yeah. Square Enix.
Careful.
Actually, there's a secret boss in this game where the president of Square Enix, fully modeled himself, descends out of the sky like God and you get to fight him. Pretty interesting, to say the least. I don't think we'll be doing it here, though, so I'm gonna... I feel fine talking about it. And for some reason, my laser's not working. I need... Did it unequip when I swapped to 9S? It might have. Let me see. It would be in here. It did! It unequipped all my stuff! Why did it do that? Oh. I know, the thing is, that makes it really crazy, is that I think it's actually a double boss. Or once you get him halfway, I think the Platinum Game CEO descends and joins in the fight. And they fight you by, shooting their heads everywhere. Let me see, I want laser on this. I want... Mirage? Actually, I want Mirage on the main one. Put laser here, and I don't use missile, so we'll use it as a blade in case I feel like cheating. Oh, now I've gone and lost my train of thought. What was I about to say? Right, I was in a really talkative mood today. I was talking to myself for like 3 hours before stream started, just almost out loud. Not almost, mostly out loud. Which is why it's a real shame that I don't actually have the things I wanted to talk about here. I wanted to read those weapon stories really badly. But it's fine. We can talk about things that... Oh, well, actually, no, don't talk about that. We'll keep that for later. Oh, and this is the issue with me. I always get distracted during these fights. Because I will die if I'm not careful. Even if the combat is a bit repetitive. I wonder if it unequipped anything else I had. Hold on. Oh, what mic do I use? Oh, hold on. I haven't tried to check that in a while. Let me see if I can actually open it up. Where's my mic app? It's over here, isn't it? Yep, here it is. I open it up. It's not telling me what mic I have. You know, in that case, I can just check my other thing. Hold on. I closed chat for a second so we can look at this. I used my phone to look at chat. Not that. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, man, it's gonna be really... Oh, it's not saved anymore. Hold on, you know, it's probably written on the mic. Hold on. Ah, there it is. The AT2020. That's what I'm using. Yeah, like I said, the combat's a bit repetitive. Oh, that's where I knew you from. Oh, it's been bugging me this entire time. I recognize your name. I was going through my mind like, who I rated recently, who I watched recently. I remember you. Yeah, I've seen you live a few times, but you're always live whenever I'm also about to go live or about to do something. Well, you know, that's usually how it goes, the raids, yeah? Hold on, I can open up chat again. There we go. Wonderful. But yeah, we have 3 more of these little points that we need to hit up before we can actually get to the interesting part of the desert section. I really hate the desert section. Hey, no problem. I try to raid at least once a week, usually. And we'll probably do one today as well. It really just depends on how many English speakers are around. They only speak English here, so I only expect people here to speak English. Oh, but like I was saying, I don't like this desert section. In the first place, though, I actually tried to avoid it for as long as I could. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh! The suicide bots are here.
What humans used to wear long ago.
Or at least one of them was.
Certain human collectives used to use face paint like that too.
Well, I suppose the lore they're talking about right now could be interesting, because this is talking about Near Replicant, but we haven't done that on stream. And the more I play this game, the more I want to do it, because something I really enjoy on stream is reading stuff, which is why there's so much Ace Attorney. And Near Replicant has just side stories upon side stories upon side stories, and they're all really in-depth and interesting. I can't think of a single necessarily bad one. There's some controversial ones, don't be wrong, because it can cover some heavy topics, to say the least. But then again, the game itself covers some stuff. It doesn't get graphic because it's rated T, I think. Oh, and investigations. I finished the trial I was not trial, the chapter I was on, which was case 3. I'm kind of not sure where they're going with the story so far, which is a good thing in some ways, because the 4th game in the series, the whole thing is that you don't know anything that's going on. You're just completely in the dark the whole time.
Yeah.
And that works because they masterfully tie all of it together in the final trial. But I'm not sure if this game's going to be able to do the same, because the first investigation game was not very good. That's something that I bring up with it every time, because it really was not. I was trying to like it the whole time, but the fact that it took me like 6 months to actually get through it speaks for itself. This one's a lot better, though. I can say that. Way, way better. Ever since the first trial, it's been better. The only thing I have really complained about is, one of the mechanics is a bit strange and unintuitive. But that's never really a bad thing. I've played worse. I mean, I've played the Danganronpa games. Those have some really trash minigames. Hold on, stream froze on my end. I hope it didn't stream freeze for you guys. But then again, this dashboard thing isn't especially reliable at all times. Okay, there we go, we're good. Oh, and speaking of Danganronpa, I am really excited for the new one coming out. It's coming out later this year. I don't know when this year, but presumably in the first half. They announced it last year. And I am really excited to do all of that on stream. It's going to be a big, confusing mess. And I'm going to love every second of it. Is this the guy I'm trying to kill? I think it is. Danganronpa is a visual novel by... Oh, what were they called? I don't remember the name of the company that does it, actually. Hold on. Let me check. Because that's driving me crazy, because it's kind of important. Oh, Spike Chunsoft. I didn't need to look it up. I got it halfway through typing. Yeah, Spike Chunsoft made them. They are also really good, but also you can definitely tell who it's marketed to. That being teenagers, mostly. Like... Oh, new lore. Oh, it's this one. Hold on. Be quiet.
From the fires of the eruption, a god emerged. One day, the god appeared before the machines and said, consciousness, pain, joy, misery, fury, shame, desolation, the future, the meaning of life.
Okay, I didn't realize that one comes this early. Oh, that's one of my favorite ones, because there's a short story that I wanted to read when that one came up. Okay, wait for Nias to stop talking, then I'll keep talking. Oh, we can't go down there, actually. There's a tank.
The structures were referred to by names such as apartment complex.
I wonder why they insisted on living in such large
Okay.
groups. Things must have been really
Come on,
dangerous
guys,
around
be
here,
quiet,
huh?
please. Oh, the pods need to talk too. Right. I don't want to talk to the pods right now. I want to talk to them later,
Creatures.
when they're actually interesting. Okay, here we are. So I didn't plan to do this right now, especially not with that tank there. But it's time for our next story time. Oh yeah, I love the storybook cutscenes. The storybooks cutscenes are one of the two main type of cutscenes that are added in Route B. They're all narrated by 9S, and they all give you a little bit of hint about the machines and their past. So for that one in particular, I planned to read a story called The Fire of Prometheus. So let's put up the storytime screen, or little overlay. Now, here's an interesting thing. Near Replicant, obviously you can tell by the name that it's related to this somehow, but it's the first game, but it happens about 16-odd thousand years ago, so there's almost no connection between that game and this one. But this story is not really the sole connection, but one of the only significant connections between the two. So we're going to take the next few minutes to read this. Actually, how long is it? I don't remember. Let me scroll through it. Oh, this one's pretty long, actually. No, we're still going to do it, because it is a storytime stream. But I will say, this is... how many pages is this? I should probably count that, shouldn't I? To let you guys know how long we're going to be in here for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... Okay, 13 pages with a very liberal use of empty lines for artistic purposes. So, let's go ahead and start reading it. Actually, do we want to change the music first? I think that this music is kind of fine. I mean, we don't have quick travel enabled. So if we were going to change it, we'd have to actually pull up music ourselves. That's fine, I'll just turn the music down. I already have, actually. And then we're going to start reading this one. Checkup sequence initiated. Camera connection unavailable. Link with motor mechanisms broken. Memory block defective. I made the inference that all my other functions, aside from my consciousness, had been destroyed. Log confirmed. And transmission record from my self-repair machines. A report that various tests are being performed on the chassis. Self-repair sounds sophisticated, but they are small, ant-like robots that simply execute tests haphazardly. It was because of these ants that I was fortunately, or unfortunately, rebooted. Test that in the right arm. Test that in the left arm. Test that in the head. Test that in the lower body. Test that in the torso. Yet again. test that in the right arm. And like that, the crude robots surveyed the body to repair the fixable areas they find. Repair the visual mechanisms. That was my order to the ants that were in disarray. Instead of the preset programming that let them roam in disorder, a coordinated effort to repair would be much more efficient. But the ants ignored the order. Apparently, my command mechanism was still functioning. I sighed. Oh well. There was all the time in the world. I located my ID after searching through my deteriorated memory bank. P33. It seemed that was my model number. And next to it was a strange string of characters. P-chan. Was this an individualized ID? I wasn't really sure. I decided to stare at the characters until my mechanisms were fully functional. It took 1,032 hours, 12 minutes, and 34 seconds for my transmission I.O. to recover so that I could communicate with the ants. At last, with functioning arms and legs, I began the required self-repair sequence. According to restoration procedures, I had to repair my memory block, but most of my memory had been destroyed, and there was little I could salvage from my charred memory drives. I decided to reluctantly move on to the next procedure, which was my camera repair. 48 minutes and 21 seconds later, the first thing that popped into my recovered field of vision was an abyss. I could see a faint light near the bottom. I realized that I was clinging to the ceiling. Another 21 seconds. Observing the ants moving about my body, there seemed to be some kind of gravity field, keeping me and the ants fastened to the ceiling. After analyzing the situation more objectively, I realized that my body was not clinging to the ceiling, but in fact my internal camera had been inverted, and I was just lying on the ground. Simply put, it seemed I was lying on my back. I needed to repair the gravity sensor as soon as possible. 540 hours later, recovery of links between arms and legs. They creaked as I got to my feet. The first thing to do was find a replacement for the completely severed bundle of thick cords that acted as my spine. Determining that it was faster to find a spare than to gather materials and repair, I ordered the ants to find a spine from the P33 series warehouse. But this was a mistake. Apparently, a security code was necessary, which at some point had been stored in my memory block. Without it, I, as well as the ants under my command, were not recognized as a P33 series, and were blocked out. In the end, we had to resort to hacking the warehouse's computer, and forcefully extracting the parts, which took 120 hours. Exasperated, I stood up and looked around. Dust flew off me. I wondered how long I had been non-functional. A room with rubble scattered about. A rusty structure made of steel frame and plates that showed red particles. How long had it been since my previous self came here? Glancing up, I saw a ray of light spilling in from nowhere in particular. The moment I saw that light, a phrase resurfaced in my memory bank. I will see the outside world. That phrase was not in order. It was simply some character string data. But that phrase spurred my memory, my consciousness, and my chassis. It was a goal that I desired. I remembered that he once told me... I remember that he was the one that gave me the character data, but information about who he was had escaped my memory. I couldn't conclude why I remembered that phrase either. There were no other instructions in my stack. Seeing the outside world was my only current desire. Inspired by the phrase, I energetically put my left foot forward. I was going to go outside. That was his wish and my desire. I put out my right foot with even greater vigor. My too powerful right foot punctured the rusted floor, which then quickly collapsed. 32 minutes later, my body, which had fallen a few hundred meters and slammed into the bottom of the abyss, lay in several pieces. I was laughing. I was missing the vocalization unit, so in reality, I wasn't laughing. But my log was recording a flood of laughing activity. It was okay. I was alive. I ordered the ants to repair my arms and legs. They connected the arm, attached the claws, installed the rollers, connected another limb, then another limb, until my appearance completely changed into an arachnoid form. The restoration sequence for P33 only precisely restored the chassis to that P33, but P33's form was insufficient for escaping this abyss. That's why I discarded the procedure that my creator had made and reconstructed my body my way. Chassis reconstruction was completed. I dug into the cliff with each claw and slowly climbed up. The destination was the outside world, the beautiful world that he had yearned for. Of course, at first everything did not go as planned. The brittle walls quickly crumbled, and I was thrown to the ground many times. Even when I was climbing, falling debris from above knocked me off. The old structures were falling apart. Even still, I shot grapnels into the wall, pinned my torso against the wall, created platforms, and used several other tricks to ascend. I spent day after day pushing my body closer and closer to the outside world. Since I felt my depth and speed of processing were inadequate, I stopped at a machinery room on the way and fused some stolen processing and memory circuits to my brain. I contemplated several plans of action and ran thought experiments. Some of the plans were better than others. I kept experimenting. It took 52 days to finally get back to the table where I initially awakened. On the center of the table were 4 unfamiliar black masses. I don't remember them being there before I fell. That means that they were placed there for some reason or another after I fell. The 4 masses mutated and stood up. They were robots, P-33 models designed for combat. They were a relatively bothersome model. The eye of an enemy lit up, and before I knew it, the robot was firing a particle ray. 4, 5, 6 seconds. The particle's beams disintegrated various objects and surroundings. I was enduring. I was using 2 of my forelimbs, made of hardened material, to shield myself from the attack. I retrieved the recommended strategy from my predictive memory block. With my upgraded processing power, I was able to simultaneously consider various options. I accumulated data from my sensors, weighed the options, and decided the best course of action. If the enemy's energy tank was full, this attack would last a maximum of 24 seconds. My forelimbs would be able to withstand that damage. As my multiple processing circuits instantly settled complex dilemmas, the operation results resounded within me like a chorus. No complications found. 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 As soon as the particle beam was exhausted, the three P-33 models in the rear launched missiles. I retaliated with a modified grapnel launcher, using it as a spear. The metal rods pierced each and every missile. During the resulting shockwave, I landed on the flat surface the enemies were on, immediately converted my right arm into a blade and transitioned to combat mode. There was no chance for a P-33 to beat me, an evolved form of the P-33. It was an easy battle. I decided to use some spare nanoseconds to reflect about my enemies. Why did they attack me? Why were they not able to self-evolve? Of course, they were most likely being ordered to attack me in order to not evolve. But then, why were they only capable of executing orders? Why? It was simple to hack their operating systems and render them non-functional, but I couldn't make it myself do it. At that point, they would be nothing but tools. An order is not a desire. A desire is a joy that is ultimately self-acquired. My forelimbs, which were enduring the onslaught of the specialized attack models, started to fail. But I didn't give up. I deployed the ants and called out to them. Let's live. Let's find a reason for our existence. That was what he taught me. I kept calling out, let's live, let's live, let's live, let's live, let's live, let's live. Steel masses clashing against each other demolished in a demolished machine cave. The cries of machines, the walls shook from the sounds of attacks and movements, the former sounding like wolf howls in the distance and the latter akin to a roar of lions. Particle ray, close combat, electric shock, and then particle ray. The P-33s were attacking, but in a simple pattern. It was easy to overcome. I just kept on screaming as if I were praying. 34 seconds since the battle began. One P-33 stopped moving. It stood there, staring at the weapon on its arm, hesitatingly surveying the battle. It had awakened. I could tell. It was probably thinking. The reason for its existence. What it should do from now on. Let's live. Let's live. Let's live. Let's live. That was my desire. He had given us this desire. I kept chanting my mantra until the other 3 enemies stopped attacking. When the P-33 ceased their attacks, I chose to attack at what they desired. I chose to ask what they desired, and I decided I would respect their desires. The results? One of them decided to flee deep into Robot Mountain. One of them committed suicide by throwing itself into the abyss, although it would most likely be revived by the ants in a few years. The other two decided to adventure outside, like me. I fused with them, and we shared our chassis, memories, and consciousness. I strove to go even further. From there, the path was even more treacherous. I beat enemies, fused with them, and continued my journey to the outer world. I spent many days and months scaling the mountain of machine rubble. I slowly climbed, granting consciousness to the machines I met on the way, and enlarging both my physical body and my desire. As time went by, my individual consciousness began to take the form of an infinitely complex being. It had fused with the entire mountain systems, and various veins of thought flowed through me. It was probably more fitting to call myself we rather than I. We evolved slowly, but at an alarming rate. At this point, our physical form had no semblance to the human body. After moving so much, we had eventually taken on the most efficient form for mobility, a sphere that was roughly 20 meters in diameter. As soon as we were self-aware of our appearance, we were thrown into a fit of hysteria. At this rate, he might not recognize us, but there was nothing we could do. We weren't sure of what the correct appearance would be anyway. On top of that, we had no idea what he looked like, how he spoke, or what his name was. We finally cached the nickname P-chan in our memory block, for it was our name and proof of our desire. 534 days after our reboot, we were ready. Below us was the gigantic hole we had been digging. In the end, there was no path large enough for our enlarged self, so we had to burrow through the mountain of metal scraps. Right in front of us was the thick, reinforced ceiling. According to the ants, on the other side of the ceiling was the outside world. All guns aimed upward, locked on. Safety cable in case of fall prepared. Fuel tank armor equipped. Direction modifications to boosters completed. All necessary inspections completed by the several hundred of us that reside in this whirlpool of a consciousness. Fire. A single pillar of light rose from the apex of the structure known as Robot Mountain. A moment later, the top fifth of the mountain was blown off in a magnificent explosion. The hole that emerged looked like a grotesque mouth of a volcano. From the center of that hole, an enormous ball of metal, about 50 meters in diameter, appeared. It was us, the result of fusing together dozens of different robots and machining tools. A form that attempted universal harmony. A super-intelligence consisting of numerous conjoined memories and consciousnesses. We used the propellant that we had accumulated to hurl ourselves toward the sky. Along with the thunderous roar of jets, weakly linked parts crumbled away. But we did not hesitate. Out, to a world not yet discovered. To keep our promise with him. Camera on. The sensors were instantly clipped with blinding white light. The howling wind was captured by the mic. The data from the temperature sensor and object scanner implied that it was a snowy day. It was a nice day. That's what I thought. Blip, blip, blip. Right as a part of me was using some spare time to scan for potential proximity dangers, radar detected several thousand objects moving across the ground. Detection was delayed because the objects were using some kind of mechanism to conceal themselves from both radar and temperature sensors. Camouflage? Why would they need such a thing? As I looked on, I saw a gash-like flash of light tear through the ground. Bulbous explosions filled my field of vision. It seemed the moving objects were divided into two factions and warring against each other. I set out to examine the objects even further. One faction consisted of robots, ranging from several meters to several dozen meters high. Since their appearance was unfamiliar, I performed an analysis but could not find a match in my database. If I had to say, their appearances were something like the combination of a catfish, grasshopper, and orange. Their designs clearly indicated they were of foreign origin. The other faction was composed of humanoid warriors. The majority of them were infantry. Their design was familiar, which meant that their origins were similar to ours. At first blush, they appeared to be human, but upon further inspection, they were extremely underdressed, almost naked, which eliminated any possibility that they were humans. No human would go to war naked in a blizzard like this. My integrated consciousness speculated that they were androids. Women. All of the androids were female types. They were probably communicating with light waves or something similar, because they were fighting without emitting sound or radio waves. I couldn't figure out why they were fighting the catfish. What happened to the world? People. Where were the humans? Right as I was processing these questions, I experienced a severe vibration. A direct hit from a missile, then 2 hits, 3. They were considerably accompanied by laser beams and particle rays. Pieces of us were sliced away from our core. We were not worried. Reinforced by countless layers of metal, our processing units and fuel tanks would be safe. That confidence was something we had gained during the process of refining ourselves. We think, why are these machines having a war? The answer was simple. Because they had been ordered to. Both the machines and the woman were made solely to follow what they're told to do. Their purpose in life was to break themselves against one another. We shivered. We feared death. Where would we go when we died? What reason was there for being destroyed and erased from existence? What happened after we were damaged beyond repair? Scared, 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 scared. We screamed uncontrollably. We thought as we screamed. Why were these machines participating in such a horrifying war? Because they had no notion of fear. Fear stemmed from desire. They were not alive and had no desires of their own. Hence they could fight without thinking. Then let's give it to them. A reason to live. I sent out some flying hub units that were connected to a wireless network, and with them, hacked the robots that had fired upon us. Due to the awkward interface, it took about 4 seconds to be granted access. The memory block was bare except for some simple commands. It was like somebody had placed a single chair in the middle of an otherwise empty grand hall. Wasteful. It was embarrassing. It felt as though I were looking at my previous self. We gently reached out toward the unaware program. Let's live. That was the revelation we had received, and it is our duty to distribute it. We went around, awakening the machines around us. Let's live. Let's live. Let's live. We are inorganic matter, and subsequently have no consciousness. Then let's give it to them. Consciousness, pain, joy, sadness, shame, solitude, future, a reason to live. Little by little, the hacked robot stopped fighting. I similarly addressed the androids. Communicating was much more straightforward with them than the catfish. Flashing beams and explosions in the snowstorm were eventually replaced by an expanding chain of affectionate transmissions. We shivered as we ascended. The machines and androids began to sing. Shooting fueled by hatred transformed into a salute declaring the end of war. Praise this joy. Praise the fact that we are living. We were satisfied. The catfish and androids were with us, and we were the catfish and androids. We were us. We were sitting in the spacious processing circuit. Some of us were gleefully laughing at the future filled with hope. Some of us were shaking at a future that was uncertain. Some of us were in conversation. Some of us kept quiet and shut our eyes. We were not a uniform whole, but existed in the consciousness with our individual quirks. This way, there was a higher probability that we would survive, and besides, it was impossible for entities that had their own wills to merge completely. The moment one established themselves as an individual, a boundary appeared between them and others. Perhaps if we returned to our machine identities, we could fuse again, but we chose not to do so. Our circuitry that mimicked the human brain was built with many interconnected nerve components. It was reminiscent of how humans could have conferences to decide on things. Perhaps having a consciousness was not complete consolidation, but was rather like a networked society. Conversation withered away. We felt the silence encroaching. Everyone slowly stood up, then peeked through the camera viewfinder to see the outside world. We shoot through a layer of polluted air and perceive the stars. We had passed the stratosphere. A great sense of accomplishment washed over us. We shouted gleefully in union. It seemed the sky, the stars, the machines, life, were all celebrating with us. Our shouts eventually turned into a song. We are making our way outside to hold our promise to you. We are alive, just like you. We sing, we sing, we sing. Will it reach you? Will these feelings reach you? Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. From the wistful machines, their song and only their song resounds through space. And that is the story, The Flame of Prometheus. That, as you might have noticed, is the exact story that was told just now in the storybook cutscene. And it is my personal favorite one from all the short stories associated with the Nier world. If it's not quite obvious why, is because it's really, really well written. Now, as for what this means in the lore, oh, my controller turned off. Back in Nier Replicant, back when all the humans were around on Earth, they made a number of military robots, the P-33 being one of them. I know you did miss the first one, but don't worry, you can always go back and watch the VOD. But yeah, the P-33 robots were very, very advanced, just for combat purposes, similar to how these machines are down here. And they also built the androids, which would eventually replace the machines. In fact, by the time Replicant rolls around, the machines are all, like, masterless and just going about doing whatever. So P-33, though, was one particular robot that was patrolling in an abandoned factory beneath a mountain of metal when it came across a small human boy who it decided to defend. And that small human boy taught it all about the outside world, and they made a promise that together, one day, they would escape the mountain and go outside. Until one day, a very, very angry man came around and killed the two of them, casting the P-33 down to a pit, eventually. And that is where our story begins, with the P-33, hundreds and thousands of years later probably, waking up and, gaining its consciousness. And then, whenever it does eventually emerge from the mountain, it erupts like a volcano and gives consciousness to all the humans and androids in the vicinity, which is where their consciousnesses that we see in-game actually stem from. You could have listened to that for several hours and like audiobook type of things. Well, yeah, I know, that's why I chose to do this, because it is really, really good, even if you don't like audiobook type stuff. In fact, I kind of wish that these stories were all more readily available outside Japan. Because the thing is, the Nier franchise, it thrives on its side content. There are stage plays, musicals, or not necessarily, well, not really musicals, more of like orchestra performances accompanied by a play. There's CDs, like the actual books, and almost all of them are just unavailable outside Japan. And the big online archive of them got hit with a cease and desist, I think, last year. So I just really wanted to share these things, because not a lot of people even know they exist. But for now, we're going to move on. It's going to be quite a bit of a stark contrast, because we're going to go down there and fight that tank, and then we're going to head into the complex and go just keep on fighting and slashing without much thought. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. We have maybe one more today. Hold on, I saw you said something, but I can't read. I'm finding the tank first. This one's actually quite difficult. You usually only listen to things that the reader has a good voice and sounds invested. It's really rare to find that. Oh, thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment. I do try to be good at reading. Oh, there's a little machine here. That's why I keep locking on to something else. How do I kill these both? Or is it like the other one where one of them will blow up? Oh, yes, remove the story time. Hold on. Yep, thank you for the reminder. I was about to start running around with this still on again. It's kind of hard to remember to turn that off, because I kind of remember that I have it turned on while I'm reading. Okay, there we go. The tank's gone. I blew it up. The minigames are really fun. You actually, every time you unlock one of them, you can go to any of the save points and redo it. And I will say two very important notes about them is that, one, what was I about to say? One, they're only available starting in the second playthrough. And two, they get really, really good at the end. Like, really good. What was it, like butter to the ears? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, because my audio quality is about the only thing that I can actually make sure is good. Because lag has been an eternal issue here. Lag and just bitrate. So I've been doing a lot to make sure my audio is good. And also that my actual readings are good. I will say though, even if we don't get another short story in today, which I would like to do at least one more, next time, probably tomorrow, we will be getting all the way to the forest so that we can, either tomorrow or the day after, go through all the weapon stories. Those ones are a lot shorter. I am unfortunately not on a wired connection. I mean, I have Ethernet into my router. I have that. But I don't have like fiber optic cables or anything because I live in a remote area. And fiber optics are just not available. In fact, most internet's not available. So I have what I have, and it's the best I'm going to get, unless I move. What was I saying? Right, weapon stories. They're a lot shorter, like way shorter, 1 page long at most. Some of them 4 lines long. But they all have something about them that makes them interesting, makes them worth dwelling on. And I think there's a chest around here somewhere with a weapon that we actually need to grab, so we can do that. I think it's on the roof somewhere. So let's go look and see if we can climb on one of these fire escapes at the front, see if we can find that. Because, I mean, it's not too important that we find these, because if I don't find them all by the time we unlock all the areas in game, I'm just going to grab them offline. Because some of them are in really obscure spots. Not this fire escape. Is there another one over there? I don't see any others. Maybe it's a fire escape on the inside. We might be able to find one. No? Okay, you know, it's fine. I'll just come back and grab that weapon offline. Because the optional areas in these games, or at least in this one, are really dense, to say the least, even though there's not a lot there. That seems like a bit contradictory. It's dense in terms of how much room there is to run around, but there's not actually a lot of stuff there. You'll go through a whole side tunnel just to find one weapon a lot of the times. Which isn't a bad thing, mind you. If it's your first time playing, and you don't, it's a great thing because it's plenty of space to put up side quests, or have you go for side quests. And that's actually one of the biggest strengths of this game, is that it reuses every single world multiple times. I think this apartment area is the only one off the top of my head that it doesn't really reuse. I don't think you come back here ever again. For like the main story at least. But every other area you go to at least 3 times, I would say. You started climbing your furniture to rearrange your room? Don't do that, don't do that. Be safe. Oh, can I climb this fire escape? Nope, that one's broken. One of these I know we can climb one of them. I might be able to jump up this one, actually. Hold on. Nope, never mind. I thought there was a platform there. That's fine. Anyway, I noted this last time, but I really, really like this hallway. Because here's the thing. This is, by the way, once again, exact same thing I said last time we came through here. This area, you just sprint through it if you're a player who doesn't know what this is. Like you're not paying attention. In fact, that's what I did whenever I played this game for the first time all those years ago. But, I mean, look at this. Horrific. It's filled with corpses. There's one impaled up there. They're all stripped of all their parts. And the only reason I even noticed this was because the anime came out, and they actually showed 2B and 9S moving at the speeds they're supposed to instead of sprinting everywhere. And just walking through this area with all these girders is actually quite spooky whenever you see it from that perspective. Anyways, we get to go watch the robots copulate now. And then, we get to see the result of the copulation. I said that I pronounced that weird, didn't I? I did. That's fine. I'm saying it weird on purpose because the machine's doing it is weird.
Multiple machines detected ahead.
And don't worry, it's completely safe for Twitch.
Stay focused.
And YouTube. And pretty much everywhere else. Because they're little robots that, as the story accurately described, look like a mix of a catfish, a grasshopper, and an orange. Which is a bit odd, actually. I don't know if this is the type of robot they're talking about when they made that description. Because the older robots have a different appearance, like Pascal does. But not these particular models, but the short stubbies that hop around like wind-up toys kind of match that description. So I assume those ones just been around forever. Because they are supposed to be modular, I suppose. Climbing your furniture is the only way to reach your top of your bookshelves? Oh, I see, I see. I suppose I wouldn't know that. I'm quite tall, actually. In fact, if I wanted to, I could just stand up and touch my ceiling in here. Though that's more a note of how short the ceiling is here than how tall I am, specifically. Actually, I suppose it... No, I suppose it's actually both. Because no one else in my family... Well, I mean, they would be able to touch the ceiling, but... They certainly wouldn't have issues with hitting their head on it if they were moving quickly. Anyway, the interesting part of the desert is about to happen. They keep it all the way at the end. Which I suppose is fine, because at this point in the game, they're still trying to maintain the facade that it's just going to be androids fighting machines. You're also very tall, you just have tall shelves. Oh, I see, I see. This cannot continue. Yep, there's the famous line. Okay, that means that we're almost about to go to do the cutscene. I can stop attacking them now. And that should just happen on its own. I'm just going to pick up their loot while I'm doing this. Because the chips should all be pretty high quality. And I don't have the best chip set up for 9S. See, look at that, movement speed +1. That could be useful. I don't actually remember. Did I ever go back and do the, like the Speed Racer quests? I don't remember if I finished it. I know I finished at least level 1 of it. Oh, here we are, cutscene, finally. We've made it. Oh, this was another weird thing. So in the anime, they actually changed this. This whole scene doesn't happen in this area. It happens in like a big underground pit. Like a Japan-style giant storm drain. I don't know why they made that change. It works plenty fine in the daylight.
What's happening?
Anyway, here's our big ball. They don't really explain why the machines are capable of this at any point. I think we just had to assume it's alien technology. Anyway, there's Adam's butt.
An android?
But I will say it's a very unique way of creating our antagonist. Oh, and this time around we actually get to learn about Adam. Last time he just sort of appeared every now and then. This time we have the cutscenes that tell us about him. Not right now, though. Right now we get to beat him up. Quite literally a thermonuclear bomb against a coughing baby right now. Because the androids do, like, self-destruct with the force of a nuke, pretty much. And he is a almost coughing baby. He can't actually cough, he doesn't breathe. But he's stuttering. And this fight shouldn't take too long, because he is, in fact, very, very low level still. They don't level scale him, because there's no point in doing so. Though I will say, it will take a while while he's up there, because I can't really shoot him. Well, I don't deal much damage to my shots, because I have a level 1 pod still. That's actually one of the things I wanted to do in this playthrough, in terms of side quests are concerned, is get all the pod upgrades that are possible, because most of them are locked behind side quests. I forgot about that, so I didn't do them in the first playthrough. Oh, and there we go. Look at that. Fight finish. That was really quick. Anyway, goodbye, Adam. That was a good first meeting. It's time for me to meet Eve now. Don't get to fight him, though.
Is this really
Oh, and you know something I haven't done yet? I haven't self-destructed 9S yet. I showed off in the first round, in the first playthrough, that when you self-destruct 2B, it removes her skirt. There's actually an achievement for that, I think. But we can do it as 9S too. I'll show you guys what that looks like once we get to a save point. Not a save point, but like a safe area. Hello, Eve. Can't wait to hear more of your voice acting this time around. You don't get to talk much, actually, in the first one. Adam usually takes all the lines. Well, not all of them, I suppose, but all the memorable ones outside the final boss. I think as soon as we get through that hole, we're safe. We don't have any running section after that. So I'll be able to self-destruct, and it should give me enough time to just slowly stagger about while I'm on the way back to the checkpoint for my screen to stop being black and white after that. Stream is some great background noise for doing stuff in your room. I always try to be that. I always try to keep my dialogue flowing, even if it doesn't have much substance. So hold on, I'm going to self-destruct really quickly. Now we just had to wait for the the black and white filter to turn off, and then we can get a good look at 9S here. So as you can actually already see, all it does is remove his shorts. But he's basically wearing booty shorts now. Oh, I can't jump. Oh, there we go. Now we can get a good look at him. Hold on, get down here so the camera's normal. Yeah, so now we get to see 9S's legs. Oh, and it blew 2B's skirt partially off. Okay, no, it regenerated. She just took damage. Okay. Giant spider in a bathtub. Oh, well, luckily it's in a place where it's easy to get rid of, eh? Just turn the water on. But yeah, if we wanted to, we could just play the whole game with 9S's legs out. Oh, and hold on. We have hair accessories, don't we? Oh, but I don't have the one I want yet. We're gonna hold off on the hair accessories for now. Because there was one in particular in this game that I really, really love. And I tried to get it in the first playthrough, but I messed up the timing and I went past the point of no return, so we couldn't get it. So instead of putting it on 2B, we're gonna put it on 9S. And it actually looks good on him too. It looks good on all the characters. And then when we get to playthrough C and D, where we swap between the two of them, we can put on 2B as well. And we're gonna put on A2 as well. We're gonna put on all three of them. Can't even go close to it. Despise spiders. I certainly get that, though. I personally have kind of grown out of the whole fear of bugs thing. But then again, there's not many bugs here to begin with. And certainly no venomous ones. Anyway, hello, operator. This is our third time talking to her. We aren't quite far enough to get her actual personality out yet. We need to get all the side quests unlocked first. Which I think happens after Amusement Park, which is the next section. Because Amusement Park is whenever you unlock the Machine Village, and Machine Village and Resistance Camp are our like two hubs for getting side quests. Anyway, let's save, so just in case we die. I don't think we will, but just in case. And I think we can do Amusement Park today. Yeah. We've only going an hour and a half. You have problems with a ton of things? Spider Fear is the most reasonable one you have? Oh, most certainly. There certainly are some places where a Sphere Spider is kind of necessary. But yes, please go back to the Resistance Camp. Oh man, my nose is starting to get stuffy. That's unfortunate. I wanted to read a lot more today. Also, I picked up a lot of mail. Maybe those are the side quests starting up? I don't see Father Servo on top of the building, though, so they haven't started up quite yet. Oh, but the new enemies are all out and about. The playthrough B ones that are more dangerous. They actually have weapons now, instead of this, like, slow pea shooters. Here's not one of those places. No venomous spiders or aggressive spiders. They're tiny. Oh, I see. Oh! Right. I can't go through here. I'm so used to, there being a giant crater here. I always forget about that. I guess the crater would be here as well, wouldn't it? It really changes the way you navigate this area. Oh, yep, another wall. Wow, navigating this area without the crater is so inconvenient. But I will say the area without the crater is a lot prettier. Even if I'm mostly going through alleys and tight corridors like that. Oh, I can jump over that. Okay, I can jump over that. You say all spiders? Oh, yeah, like I said, I certainly get that. Here we are. Resistance Camp is right around the corner. Oh, and you know what? I don't think I ever finished the, fishing up that weapon. Did I find it? Let me check my inventory. Weapons. Did I find the pipe? I didn't find the pipe. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to do some fishing at some point. Because I'm still missing the pipe. We must have been doing it in the wrong spot, because we tried it twice, didn't we? And we didn't get it either time. Maybe I'll look it up where we had to go fishing for it. I don't even know if we'll do it on stream or not, because it's not fishing in a pretty location. It's fishing in a literal sewage pipe, looking for another pipe. But it is one of the more notable weapon stories, so I do want to look at it. Anyways, let me check before we continue if the next story is appropriate for right now, or if I want to wait a little bit longer. Let's see, not that one. Not that one? Actually, how long is this one? Let me see. Yes, this one is the really long one. So we're not doing that one right now. And this one... Oh man, we can't do any of those. Okay, that's a shame. But we are going to wait a bit longer before we do the next story. Before that, I want to get a drink of water. You guys should all get a drink of water too. It's been an hour 30 minutes. I'm usually one who forgets to do this, but that's because I'm usually talking the whole time. What I guess I kind of am today. Okay, I'm good. So like I said, this is probably going to be one of the shorter streams. Probably around 2 hours long. But that should give us enough time to go do the amusement park section, which I believe actually adds considerable amount of lore. Oh, in fact, as I recall, the amusement park has a story built into it. So we're going to keep mashing the dialogue, because this is all the same as last time. We just got our free room, which we are not going to use at any point. And now, we're going to step outside the resistance camp, and we're going to call, I think, telling us to go to the park. Ah, there's the call.
Operator to 9S.
This is 9S.
Hello, operator.
Go ahead. I have an incoming message for 2B and 9S from the commander.
Yes, please tell us. I wonder why the operators tell us our commands individually. We could just use one pod and do it both.
Their black boxes are online, so we presume they're still alive.
They are presumably still alive.
So I need all Yorha units on the
Hold on, I'm waiting for she. I don't want to talk over her too much.
End transmission.
Oh, actually, I think I have to talk over them. I mean, I do have the volume still turned way down, so you guys probably can't hear it too much over me. But I should note, the Nier games actually have a lot of stories just built into them, which is one of the reasons why I was inspired to do this thing where I read them here for you, like the side content. And it's actually kind of one of the defining traits. Because in Nier, like for instance, in Nier Replicant, you get halfway through the game, or rather, you beat the game, and it sends you back to the halfway point to change some stuff up. And the first thing it does is it makes you read like a 30-page story or something. And it's really, really good. Oh, one of the new cutscenes. Hold on, quiet.
Pod 042. Control has been assigned to 2B.
This is Tactical Support Unit Pod 153. Control has been assigned to 9S.
Combat data exchange requested.
Exchange accepted.
Proposal. Data should be exchanged regularly for greater efficiency.
Proposal accepted. Data will be exchanged regularly for greater efficiency.
End communication.
Okay, so there's one of our new cutscenes. I actually forgot those ones existed in this route. I thought they were only going to come online in the next one. So I guess there's 3 new types of cutscenes that are going to be showing up in this playthrough. We have the storybooks, we have the pods, and then the last one I kind of spoiled earlier is Adam and Eve. We haven't seen one of those yet, though. We have the pods. They don't seem especially interesting right now, because they're just little floaty robot companions. But as we will learn in those cutscenes, they get up to some interesting things on their own time. Anyway, here we are, the wonderful amusement park. I remember when this game first came out, this amusement park was the clickbait thing. Oh, another cutscene. Hold on, quiet again.
The machines called them treasures. Each treasure had a different shape. Each treasure had a different shape.
Okay, so I don't have a huge, long story to read for that one, because this story is actually the game itself. We'll be learning about it as we go on. But basically, the treasures that they're referring to are the aspects of humanity that the robots are picking up. And as we go through this route and meet all the robots, they are all going to sort of share their own treasure with us. And you might have picked up in the first route what some of those treasures might have been. But maybe not. After all, in the first route, we were not necessarily being led to think they were mindless machines, but 9S and 2B certainly were. And at this point in the story, that was something that the players are still probably thinking about.
We're getting resistance signals.
With that being said,
over there.
there's someone inside that building who very, very, very interesting. And they don't necessarily have a side content short story for them. Like I keep saying, I think it's in game.
We need a way through.
But they also have a side questing game that we did not do last playthrough, because I find it to be really, really boring and repetitive, considering the actual playthrough B fight exists. We still won't be doing that. I think I can just summarize it once we're in the story itself. The addition is not especially necessary, I don't think. Before that, though, we get to see how fast we can kill a regular tank using hacking. Last time, I think this thing actually killed me once, because I wasn't being very careful.
These machines are heavily
So let's see.
We'll regret it later if we let them escape.
Oh, but I think I had to aggro it first. Let's aggro it. Also, last time I hit its weak point, which stopped me from getting the money from it. There we go. Now I can hit it. Oh, it's not too bad, actually. That's one of the easier ones. Still took damage, though. Okay, 1/4 of its HP. That is not bad at all. Let's not get smacked by that, though. Oh, his hitbox is really weird. I had to be standing like, right in front of it in order for the hacking to pick up. That's actually kind of dangerous. Okay, notably in these ones, you don't actually have to hit the black blocks. Those are just there as cover and to distract you. I think the earlier tutorials covered that, but I don't remember. Oh, I'm about to die. Okay, I'm good. 2 more. And I get really close to him. Or I can stand on it. I suppose that would also work. Oh, I hate these red blocks. These are the worst one. Yep, I hate them. I hate them. I remember back in my first playthrough, the red blocks kill me almost every single time I encountered them. Oh. I'm still getting used to this. I'm sorry. Why am I saying I'm sorry? I need to apologize. I can be bad at games. I think I'm saying sorry to myself reflexively, because I usually do that when I'm talking to myself. Okay, hold on. There we go, that's an easy one. One more. Come on, give me an easy one. Oh, actually, this one... Oh, no, this is not an easy one. Or, not really. Because it's hard to aim at the guy when you're so far away. I mean, I suppose I could just sit back here. That would work. Sometimes question how you manage to do anything in life without how many problems you have. Using tweezers to clean dust out of things. Really, tweezers to clean dust?
Some kind of crystal?
Usually I just use, like, a Q-tip or something, if I need to get something small. Because even with the Q-tip, you can just, like, tear bits off of it to make it fit into smaller holes. Though I suppose it does kind of just shove dust deeper in, depending on how you're cleaning with it. Oh, right, I got really distracted there, didn't I? Like, really distracted. I was saying that the amusement park was the clickbait thing back when this game first came out. I remember it was absolutely everywhere. Particularly this roller coaster. I don't know why. Really? It's not an especially, like, notable section compared to the rest of the game. I think a lot of people just didn't finish the game, is probably what it was, because a lot of people probably just don't know that you are supposed to reload your save file after you beat it to get more stuff, even though the game explicitly tells you that. I certainly know some people who didn't know that, because apparently some people are allergic to reading. You can't touch dust because it makes you gag. Oh, I see. Oh, no, I stopped paying attention when I read that, and I thought it was 2B. Anyway, the roller coaster isn't especially long. It's just another auto-scroller, pretty much. But it does this weird projectile thing, where my projectiles move slower than the roller coaster itself. Which is a bit annoying. But I suppose I can just hack them, can't I? It's kind of hard for me to do that, though, considering I just played an entire playthrough as 2B, and she's really good at fighting. Oh, here we are, the end. Wonderful. Into the hole. And now, as I recall, this is the first major deviation that 9S is going to have on the story. He's not actually going to go anywhere, mind you. He's still just here with 2B. But he examines this, he sees this fight a little bit differently than she does, because his job is different. Hello, Simone. Oh, actually, I think we get to see her name this time, like, translated. Also, I love the song during this fight. One of my favorites. I actually listen to this one just like when I'm in the car, driving around. Do I have the music turned up? I don't. I've had the volume down this whole time.
What the hell?
Our records don't say anything about a machine.
Oh, look at
like
that, but you do
this.
get to see her name. Oh, I can't hack her yet. Come on. Oh, man, I had to actually aim for her, don't I? Oh, no hacking. At all. Okay. In that case, it's time to start hacking away. Like, physically hacking away. Not, you know, programming. And luckily, I have a lot of self-healing, so I don't actually need to try during this fight much. Even though she is scaled to the proper level. And she's dying really quickly, too. I must have put her on some really good chips. Oh, no, it's because I upgraded 9S' sword, that's why. I forgot about that. I wasn't planning on using it much, but I forgot you can't hack some bosses. Well, to be fair, if you had the upgrade materials, you definitely could have upgraded 9S' sword, just not all the other stuff as well. There we go, and now she's phase transitioning. I think this is where we get the hacking unlocked, right? I certainly would hope so. Oh, yeah, there it is. So, when you're playing as 2B, this is just sort of something that disrupts your movement. Oh, no. Oh, hold on. Okay, that's how the story was communicated. You're right.
It's trying to hack us. If we take hacking damage, it'll affect our bodies as well.
So during the first playthrough, we did do hacking. I forgot about that. This is the only time in the first playthrough we get to. But it's only if you get hit by Simone's attacks. Also, you can see her real head right there beneath her big fake head.
Those look like corpses.
And here is our companions that we were sent to find. All crucified. And once we deal with these,
Seriously being attacked with dead androids?
we can get the hacking.
Wait, I don't think... 2B! I'm detecting black box signals. They aren't dead. They've been turned into weapons.
Alright.
Luckily, now since these guys are level 1, they are actually going to get one shot now. By our swords at least, and our sword beams, which we did not have before. So that's really nice. Should make this section quite a bit easier, especially considering how trash the camera is. Oh my gosh. I hate that the camera breaks during this part. I don't think it's broken necessarily, but it's definitely terrible. Oh, terrible. Kinda had to just play using my mini-map instead of actually looking for stuff. There we go. And now, we can get Simone down here. We can actually finish her off. Once it will work. Hold on, she's in phase transition, so she's immune. No, come on, don't hack the crucified dead bodies. Come on. Hack the big one. Hack. There. There we go. And she is not going to be too bad, because we're still pretty early in the game. She is a boss, though, so I'm going to take some damage, probably. Ouch. Okay, there we go. Oh, more lore. She's transformed herself. We're starting to get the full picture. Oh, her projectiles are very chaotic when I'm trying to just do one thing to her, though. Oh, is this one? I don't remember this one. I don't know why I said it like I do recognize it. Oh, there's multiple waves. Okay. I might die during this one. There we go. Oh, I tried to slip between it. I almost had it. Almost had it. I might actually run through my low tier healing items during this. Almost done. Right? Yep. That felt about right. Okay, her dress is gone. Oh, it's a spinny block one. I think I have to get close to her. Or it. No, I don't. It's fine. Almost got her. Almost got her. I don't think I can actually do much damage in the phase transition. I think she gets damage reduction. So realistically, I shouldn't be doing this. It's fine. I kicked out. There we go. No phase transition that time. Come on, go around slowly. There we go. I didn't remember to be careful with those. Okay, I was right. She does get phase. She does get damage reduction.
Affirmative.
Okay, turn the volume down. I think we're about to get our story. Right? Right here? Oh, it's story time with Siku. Hold on, let's split our thing up. But we're going to shrink it this time because we actually need to be in the corner. Because this one's on screen. I know, it's progressing automatically. Hold on. I gotta shrink the thing. I want it to be visible still. There we go. We'll put up here. We're chat. Above the chat. Look at me. Oh, please look at me. I want your eyes to look upon me alone. Yeah, that is the vibe I'm going for. Have I not become beautiful? Do these clothes make me look cute? Would he like it if I walked like this? I still don't understand what it means to love someone, but I've made up my mind. I will do whatever it takes to capture his heart, his affection. Ooh, this one's a bit more difficult to read because the lines come out on their own speed. Long ago, an old machine lifeform told me something. Beauty is what wins love. But what is beauty? After researching the old world, I finally learned the truth. Beauty is pretty skin. Beauty is stylish accessories. Beauty is looking one's best. I will become beautiful. I will do it for him. I once heard tell of a precious jewel far to the east. It was said to be located on a terribly dangerous mountain. But I did not care. I slipped on cliffs. I fell onto rocks. But eventually, I claimed the jewel. Blue stone. Brilliant blue. So beautiful. I lost many parts obtaining this jewel. I lost myself. But my wounds are my badges. There's a rumor floating among the other machines. There's a rumor floating among the other machine lifeforms lately. Devour the body of an android, gain eternal beauty. Such nonsense. It is physically impossible to obtain beauty by consuming an android. But I tried anyway. I would try anything. I wanted to vomit, but I kept going. It tasted like oil. Not a moment passed where I didn't strive to become more beautiful. But he still won't look my way. I even tried to learn what is called a song. Songs can make someone have feelings for you. That's what they say. So I practiced every day. But he still won't look my way. I ate more androids. I even ate machine life forms. But he still won't look my way. He 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 won't look my way. 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 He still won't look my way. That's when I realized he cares not for jewels, or songs, or beauty, or appearance or anything else. I cannot win his love. Why have I done this to myself? Meaningless. 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 I gaze into the mirror. In its reflection, I see only my own meaninglessness. And so I scream. Someone, please, look my way. And there's the end of that story. It's a very short one compared to the others. Very short. And while this cutscene plays out, I'm going to fix this. And we can talk a little bit about that. So, that was a story of Simone, the robot that we just killed. He was in love with another machine named Jean something. John something. I don't remember his last name. But he is a very self-important machine who lives in the machine village. He fancies himself a philosopher, the stuck-up kind. He believes he knows more than anyone else, and he does not give in to... He doesn't give anyone attention, really. All of his followers are just begging for his attention, and he refuses. This is what became of that, or at least what became of Simone, who took that love to an extreme, not realizing until it was too late that she could not win his love.
What is it?
If you actually do John Paul, that was his name. If you actually do his quest, you just see a bunch of his other followers being driven mad by him, and then in the end, he decides to simply skip town to go try and be a real philosopher or some such. It's hard to say because he's not an especially understandable fellow. Anyways, it's time for us to go now to the Machine Village. And we'll be able to get all of our side quests activated once we go there. Actually, I think we need to go there and then go back to Resistance Camp once, and then meet our side quests activated. We're not going to do those today, though. In fact, we might end it after we get to the Machine Camp. Actually, maybe we'll read one more story, because that one was really short. I'm expecting it to be replicant length, where it's really, really long. That sounds like a good plan to me. We'll read one more story once we get to the Machine Village, and then we'll end there, and I'll do some looking for weapons offline before tomorrow. Oh, and I think when we're going around this way, we get to see the android ships being sent up to space. Yeah, look at that. Going to deliver supplies to the bunker.
Right. You wouldn't have seen that before. They're sending supplies up from Earth to the moon and the bunker.
Oh, and to the moon. Right. Can't forget that.
No spare parts or fuel.
That's where the humans are, after all.
Huh.
Oh, me and Nina said after all at the same time. How odd. Anyways, while I'm also offline, I also need to give myself more money so I can actually afford all the weapon upgrades.
So why don't the machines
I didn't think that would be an issue, but I guess they're a bit more expensive than I recalled.
They originally came here from outer space, right?
Well, there are a few theories about that, but no one knows for sure. Hard to tell what an alien is thinking, you know?
Precisely. They do not know. Precisely how they don't actually know why the aliens aren't using nukes. We know that because we just read the story. Oh, new cutscene.
Why do we have to wear undergarments? It's such a hassle.
The records claim humans covered their crotches as they went about their business. Revealing one's genitals was seen as problematic. So just be quiet and wear them already.
Okay, but why are we eating this plant matter? Machines don't need to eat things like this.
This is a type of fruit. Our data suggests that mankind gained great intelligence from consuming fruit. So quit griping and eat it already.
All right, if that's what you want. But once we're done, can we play together for a bit?
Fine.
Oh, great. Then I'll eat lots of fruit.
That was our first Adam and Eve cutscene. So you can see there little bits of their personality that didn't quite shine through. Adam, his treasure, as we would say, is his desire to
They all
learn
have white
about
flags.
machines,
Looks like
not
they
machines,
really
about
don't wanna
humans and their way of life. And Eve just cares about his brother. We definitely got a ton of that during the last playthrough. And we're going to be learning a lot more about that during this playthrough. You got your entire family to play with an old dinosaur toy. That is a strange thing, isn't it?
Before we begin, we are not your
Anyway, sorry Pascal, but I gotta skip your dialogue. It's the same as last time. And now... I'm just realized the Machine Village has very inappropriate music for reading one of the stories, or for the story I'm about to do. So we'll move over to the Resistance Camp, where we can choose our music, and then we'll do it. Hold on, I did get the quest, right? I went mashing too much. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we got the quest. Oh, but right, I should mention. So, just now... Oh, hold on, what do you say? Cleaning an old toy set so you put it on top of your shelves, and you're arguing about some of the details. Oh, yeah, that'll definitely do it. That'll definitely do
Get
it.
into the city ruins if we move that box.
Oh, what was I saying? Right, Adam and Eve. So you may have noticed, between their names and the covering their crotches in the book and the apple, their main source of data on humans at the moment is the Bible. Which makes sense, you know, it's the most sold book in, like, human history.
What is it?
Our maintenance team filed a
Oh.
complaint about how you treat your flight unit.
Nice is in trouble.
They requested that you cease making unauthorized modifications.
Well, I kinda had to. There's so much excess data sent to me from the satellite, it's delaying aim correction.
If you have a rebuttal, you need to discuss it with maintenance. Fight it out if you must. Operator 210 out.
Oh, and there we go. We get a little peek into
My operator's more prone to violence than I
9S's
thought.
personal modifications. I don't remember where it's mentioned in game, but 9S has also modified his own body at some point during all this, so that he can actually keep up with 2B and keep working with her. Because, you know, being a scanner, he's not exactly cut for physical labor. And that's also a sign that 9S is considerably more crafty than the other scanners, for reasons that we'll get into later. In fact, we'll learn a lot more about the scanners in this route, and they are a very interesting bunch. But for now, let's pick some music to read our final story of the day before we sign off, shall we? Let's see, do we have more now? We don't. I guess I had to unlock these a separate way than just running around, don't I? Okay, we'll put it on quiet. No vocals, please. We can't actually sit down, because we can't open our... Actually, we don't need to open our inventory, we can just sit down, can't we? So let's see if I can get this open. And we'll do our last one. First of all, story time. On. There we go. Let's see. Where is it at? Not that one. Not that one. Let's see. How long will this one take? This one won't take too long. And, as an interesting one, this one's not so much about... This one has a very different vibe than the other two, I should say. So let me just drink some water, and then we'll get started, shall we? Oh, you found your cat's teeth in the toy set? Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry about that. But with that being said, let's get started, shall we? Where is this? Who is that? 2B likens it to trying to climb up a rocky slope. Her left leg feels heavier than lead. With just one step, she's already winded. She's finally able to complete that step. Her right leg's joints are about to begin creaking. From practically tumbling out of the flight unit, exiting the hangar, riding the elevator, finally to reaching the hallway. The distance is only about a few meters, and when she thinks about the time it takes her just to do that, she's dumbfounded. The development department is right at the end of the hallway. Thinking about how much longer it'll take to get there, Tumi feels as though she's going to faint. The orbiting bunker is the front-line base for Yorha troops. Although it contains all the necessary facilities for battle and travel itself between between itself and Earth, as well as living space for its inhabitants, it can't really be considered big. Nevertheless, Tubi feels as though the distance between herself and her destination is endless. As the floor is merely a gradual slope, there aren't even any steps for her to overcome, so it's a place that should be easy to walk in, it should be so easy to walk in that one could do it with their eyes closed. This only acts as proof that the current problems with her motor functions are serious. She tries to step up her pace a little, as she thinks about how badly she needs to reach the development department for repairs. Just then, the commander approaches her from the front. Tubi attempts to move her left hand to her chest for a salute, but she can't even manage that correctly. She grimaces as it seems that the malfunctions weren't only in her legs, like she'd thought, but her arms as well. It's all right. At ease. She noticed the extent of Tubi's damage to that awkward attempt at a salute, and she gestures for her to lower her arm. You look to be in pretty bad shape. I wasn't able to receive the necessary repairs on the ground, so I was forced to suspend my mission in order to return here for them. I apologize. Your apology is unnecessary. Are there others who've been injured? Due to the battle that broke out with the machine lifeforms early this morning, 1D had taken damage to her right arm and shoulder. 4B's left thigh has sustained minor injury. However, 12H's first aid treatment has managed to repair them so that the operation would not be hindered. I see. With that, the commander moves to the side, out of Tubi's line of sight. This hallway, which connects the hangar to the development department, faces the outside. The darkness of space, the scattered stars, and of course, mankind's original home, Earth, can all be seen from the windows. Even now, upon that beautiful blue planet, Yorha androids were engaging in combat against the machine lifeforms. No matter how many times they crushed them, just like little mechanical bugs, the machine lifeforms tirelessly reappear. There just aren't enough Yorha troops to handle the number of machine lifeforms. Calling them elite few sounds nice, I think. Although there's an overwhelming difference in their numbers, androids have been able to make up for it through their strategy and updated technology. However, they have yet to fully overcome their disadvantage, and thus the fighting has been prolonged. Tubi believed that, if they were to push their efforts further, it could all end, but she realized she was wrong in that idea. Just don't push yourself, the commander says, her lips forming a smile. Occasionally, the commander smiles in such a gentle fashion that it confuses Tubi. After all, she tends to be rather cold. Her speech is usually as rigid as one would expect from a leader, and her judgment as sharp as a blade. There were probably countless amounts of anguish and conflict hidden in the depths of that occasional smile. Commander. Tubi stops herself from finishing her thought. This is her problem, not the commander's. Never mind. It was nothing. The commander's smile vanishes before quiet words escape her lips. No matter how cruel the mission, we must complete it. That is the duty of us Yorha members. Those final words echo in Tubi's minds. They've always been difficult times for her. Or even times when things were so painful she couldn't stand it. But Tubi has never been dissatisfied with her duties. However, no matter the mission, all responsibility for it lies on my shoulders. Don't forget that. It's as though the commander was able to read her mind. Tubi had always been thinking about the weight she'd accumulated each time she finished one of her duties. It was hers and hers alone to carry. No, even now she still believes that. Even so, the commander's words echo within her heart. Glory to mankind. Tubi fights under her command. She always has, and she always will. Until the day Mother Earth returns to the hand of its rightful owners, mankind. As she listens to the commander's systematic footsteps fade behind her, Tubi continues on towards the development department's room. What was that just now? What was that just now? Should we follow her? Let's follow her! As the commander enters the command room, she finds that she can't walk another step. A bunch of operators have rushed over to her to block her route. Commander, about the arrangement of materials in the bunker, please allow me to report the situation in the city ruins. Please approve the supply container to be sent to the moon. It appears their transmission bandwidth in Sector F, Ward 3D is failing. It seems the operators believe that if one merely holds the title of commander, then that means their processing power must be higher than anyone else. With regards to the With regards to the material arrangement, submit a map presenting 3 plans that take into account the movements of everyone in charge. After that, you've done that, I'll consider it. Understood. I'll listen to your situation report in 330 seconds. Understood. Supply container approved. Thank you very much. Direct any troops in F sector to move to the access point and investigate the cause. Understood. Finally, that's finished, the commander thinks to herself. But in actuality, it's not. None of the operators move from where they're standing. It seems there's still something they need. Is there something else? Yes, the operators answered in unison. Commander, please accept this. All at once, they present her with small gold and silver packages. What are these? Today is February 14th. The date is also known as Valentine's Day, which is a date where you give brown objects to those you adore. Valentine's Day? A custom from the old world. Yes, it appears that both senders and receivers of gift were made very happy. It also appears that it was customary to give brown objects wrapped in gold and silver paper. Ah, no wonder. The commander thinks to herself. All of their packages are different shapes and sizes, but all of them shine brilliantly. Indeed, it seems the humans gave presents like this long ago. She opens one of the presents to test out its contents, and it ends up being a dark brown ribbon. She wonders what to do with it, but for the time being answers with a thank you instead of voicing that. Many of the customs of the old world elude her. Oh, I scrolled wrong. Hold on. While humans are the ones who created androids, it's ridiculous that they try to understand them, and not recommend that they mimic them. Therefore, she cannot officially authorize his attempt at mimicking Valentine's Day customs. But she can't say such cold things for now. The operators here have very different hardships from those units fighting on the front lines. Commander, may I ask for your permission on something? The one who asked that is an operator known as 6-0, the one in charge of communications with 2B. What is it? I'd like your approval on experiments regarding implementation of new equipment for flight units. Regarding the matter of new equipment, the commander had received reports from the development department several times about that. When dealing with experiments like these, back and forth between operators and other members is required. It seems that 6-0 here is in charge of compiling those communications. Ah, yes, that. The preliminary investigation. The one who's assigned to the operation was 9S, ma'am. If no problem occurs with the preliminary investigation, it'll be the Defense Force's final experiment. Upon hearing that, the image of 2B from not long ago appears on her mind. I see. 9S. That's right. Words that she had repeated so many times echo within her heart. All responsibility lies on my shoulders. Approved. Thank you very much. 6-0 gives a bow and leaves the room. Then, Commander turns her head to look over her shoulder. Now then, it's been exactly 330 seconds. Let's hear that situation report on the battleground. Battleground? For situation report? Battle on the ground? To report on the situation, right? Ah, what does new equipment mean? We don't understand. Should we take a look? Let's take a look. Operator 6-0 rushes to the hangar. She believes she'll be in trouble if she misses them. Well, actually, if she does, she can just contact them through a transmission, so it won't be that big of a trouble. She slides herself through the door she just opened. It feels like the more in a hurry she is, the more slowly it opens. Because quick movement is necessary for quick installation, she believes it's a point of hers that she should improve on. 210, you there? From behind a flight unit equipped with a catapult, 210's face emerges. She's still in the middle of inspection work, it seems. What good timing. 6-0 immediately gets down to business. The implementation experiments are approved. However, 610's reaction is unexpectedly weak. 6-0 wonders if she just forgot about what the experiment entails. You know, the new equipment for the flight unit. 210 knits her eyebrows in an almost shocked expression. That's all? What do you mean, that's all? This time, it's 6-0's turn to show a strange expression on her face. She can't figure out what's up with 210's expression. You could have just told me through one single transmission. You didn't have to come all the way here. Yeah, but... 210 wears an expression that suggests she believes she's done something useless, while 6-0 tries to think of how to refute that. But, we're always talking through transmissions. I need more exercise. 210 raises an eyebrow at that, as if to say, so what? And besides, isn't it more important to check the actual equipment with my own eyes? What is it we say again? It's our duty to do it perfectly? What was it? It's the duty of us operators to carry out everything we do with perfection. Right, that was it. 2-0 finally nods her head at 6-0's spirited response. I guess you're right. Whether he asks about new equipment, he seems guilty. But whenever he asks about new equipment, he seems guilty. 9S is a ball of curiosity. 2-0's may sound like she's verbally shrugging her shoulders, but actually, it's meant to be gentleness. She's always like this when she talks about the units she's in charge of. 9S. 6-0 leans over, suggesting she understands what she means. Even though they serve different units, operators share the same sort of feelings. 2B's the same way, always doing unreasonable things. S-types tend to be guilty due to their intense curiosity, while B-types are guilty of their lack of consideration for themselves. Though that's probably why they're able to fight on the front lines without hesitation. I guess you could say they're running us ragged. I get there's no helping their characteristics, but you wish they'd acted a little more restraint, right? But even when we tell them that, it won't change a thing. So, the two of them speak with unison. Advanced preparations are especially important, as is the exchange of information between operators. Even if it's insignificant conversation, there could be information within it. The accumulation of all that meager information could inform important decisions, or help units avoid danger. In short, everything in an operator's everyday life can connect back to a mission. Every day is their duty. After checking some notes and changes on the new equipment, the two of them chat for a bit. Of course, 2-0 never stops working, however. Okay, sorry to keep you waiting. 2-0 returns to a flight unit to a fixed position after an inspection. It makes room for 6-0. Since the catapult can only be equipped to one flight unit at a time, they'll have to check it one by one. Well then, I'll go ahead and contact 9S. Okay, I'll leave you to that. 6-0 fixes 2B's flight unit in the open space and begins her inspection work. That machine sure is big. Is that the new equipment? Where should we go next? Where should we go next? Locating 9S is an easy task for Operator 210. When he's on Earth, there may be issues with the satellite resolution or communication area, so sometimes the position information can be wrong. However, when he's within the bunker, there's no mistake. 9S is right here. 210 thinks to herself as she stands in front of the door. The server control room. The bunker within the room within the bunker where a large terminal is installed. 9S has been in here analyzing enemy barriers and new hacking patterns. He loves that sort of detailed work. Whenever he isn't being sent out on missions, he's always guaranteed to be working in this room. Due to his intense concentration, he doesn't even hear the sound of the door opening. I knew it, 210 mutters as she enters the room, without even gaining the attention of 9S, who's focused on the terminal. Despite being unable to see his eyes, she's sure they're shining as he immerses himself in his work. Often, human beings seem to have become absorbed in the act of playing with their toys, forgetting about time entirely. And that's exactly how 9S feels in this moment. Actually, even before heading to the hangar, 210 had stopped by here. Since he seemed so absorbed in his work, she didn't call out to him. But even at that point in time, he'd already been in the room for over 3 hours. She feels as though she should tell him to cut it out and take a break already. But all of a sudden, his shoulders tremble in shock, like someone had just come up from behind him and shouted in his ear. Oh, it's just you, operator. He drops his shoulder and turns his gaze towards 210. What do you mean, it's just you? You've been working in here without even a single break for how many hours now? You need to quit doing that sort of thing. Yeah. One confirmation will suffice. Fine. He responds as though he's dissatisfied. Please, disconnect from the terminal. I need to brief you on your next mission. Seriously? I can listen like this? That's unacceptable. You won't get sufficient exercise like that. Suddenly, she finds herself diverting the conversation in the same way 6-0 did not long ago. Though it is true that 9S requires exercise more than 6-0 does. Let's take a little walk. 9S reluctantly disconnects from the terminal. So, what's the next mission? Within the factory ruins, you need to survey the ruins as well as their surroundings. So, that means I'll be alone again, huh? Sure is lonely like that. 9S drops his shoulder in a manner that suggests he's uninterested. But in the next moment, he lifts his head to look over at 210. Think you can come with me, operator? 210 knows he's not being serious with that. It may be true that he's lonely, but bringing the operator along on a mission is completely out of the question. Absolutely not. This is your job. Stop behaving like a child and just complete it on your own like you're supposed to. All right. Sheesh. 9S puffs up his cheeks. She can hear he's a bit disheartened. She wonders if she should give him some candy to cheer him up. The next mission will also serve as an experiment for the newly implemented equipment. Wait, really? She can hear the liveliness in his voice now. Just as she thought, the word new would have tremendous effect on him. I'll provide you with a more detailed explanation in the hangar while we check out the equipment. All right! Suddenly, Ninus makes a strange expression, like he's taken aback by something. Is something wrong? Come to think of it, he seemed a bit strange a little while back as well. She thought it was because she surprised him by suddenly being in the room with him, but at the time, his gaze wasn't even facing towards her, but in another direction entirely. Something else had his attention. I just feel kinda uneasy. About what? Ninus turns his gaze towards the interior of the room, like he feels as though someone's watching him. He shakes his head a few moments later. No, there's no way. It's probably just my imagination. I wonder if I'm tired or something. That's why I've been telling you to take regular breaks. Yeah. One confirmation will suffice. After finishing the explanation on the new equipment, she'll have to remind him again to rest. If his fatigue accumulates, it may compromise the mission. While thinking about that, she and Ninus leave the server control room. But before she leaves entirely, she turns to look at the room one last time. Of course, there's no one there. That was a close one, we were almost caught. But what does lonely mean? No idea. Androids are just full of mysteries, aren't they? That's right, full of mysteries, and very interesting. We want to play with them a little more. Yes, play with them a little more. 2 words appear on the large terminal within the server control room, despite the lack of anyone's presence. End transmission. And that is our last story for the day. It's very different, isn't it? I told you so, yeah? Now, some of you might know, it kind of seems nonsensical, right? You don't really know what's going up with that. Maybe you can make some inferences, maybe you can't. And that's because that story, even though it takes place before the start of the game, and it doesn't contain any spoilers, really, explicitly at least, is full of some subtle clues as to the characters' secrets. Why is 9S so obsessed with the terminal? Why was 2B injured? Why does the commander have to bear 2B's responsibilities? And what were those strange voices that 9S seemed to hear? All those questions will eventually be answered within the confines of the game. But for now, it's just a little mystery for us to dwell on. You're starting to want a whole audiobook of me just reading? Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I've been working on this a lot. I mean, that's part of what the Ace Attorney streams are, you know? Just me practicing being able to read for prolonged periods of time. I don't plan to do any audiobooks or anything like that specifically, but I do want to, learn how to do this stuff, because it's something I'm interested in. But with that, it's time for us to end for today. Hold on, we can turn the story... Actually, what does the story time look like if I put it on the end screen? Does it look good? We can look at that right now, can't we? Let's see. Paste. Nope, it looks terrible here. Okay, we'll go ahead and get rid of that then. Well, with that being said, let's see if there's anyone to raid today, and if not, we'll just end. And we'll be back tomorrow with a little bit of off-screen, work done, so that we can actually read more lore. Hope that one day I can invest people like this well. Aye, probably a while. After all, it's taken me quite a while to get you around. Let's see. Oh, look at this. We do have someone in English. So we'll go see them. Oh, wait. Hold on. Never mind. Here we go. Now we have someone. So, thank you all for watching. This has been... Wait a second. Wait a second. Is this one also... Oh, this one's also not up. Okay, see, this is why we check them first, because I don't want to raid someone who's sleeping again. In that case, I guess we won't be raiding anyone today. So, thank you all for tuning in. This has been Siku the Scuffed, and I am signing off. I'll see you all tomorrow for some more Nier. Goodbye.